You see that news there? Front page? Guncock cleared of murder. You're going to be seeing many of these again repeatedly. I predict this in my analysis. This is British Lebanese. Coming to you from London's City of London. Here, where you are here, that's London Wall. That's Chamomile Street. Is it Chamomile Street? I think it is anyway. Yeah, should be. Just up that road there to the right was St Mary's Axe, where the IRA blew up the CU building, Commercial Union building, and I was there a few minutes there, delivering in that building. I was in that building 13 minutes before the bomb went off.
It was
Around
him
that
that
area there, just down there.
this to say like, you should go to this. Like,
And so,
so we were both there.
escaping bombs exploding in Beirut, as well as bombs exploding here in England. In England, in the City of London. That was when the IRA were bombing down England's buildings and getting their Murphy's build merchants to build them back off again, making double bucks off of the powers that be. And so this video is because police have contacted my doctors, the new doctors, and today I received a call from new doctors demanding they see me. Now I'm updating the public to show you, because I'm a member of my community, and I want to update them on the techniques and the evil and wicked play that they do in order to use doctors to obtain some kind of pecuniary advantage in a perversive and deceptive way. I recorded it and I forwarded it to the ambassador of the Lebanese embassy today. I spoke to a lady who I believe, she didn't say who she was, but she's the power of attorney in the Lebanese embassy here in London. Her name's Muna. I forwarded the audio this evening of the conversation that I had with the doctor of the doctor's practice, and I forwarded it to several people, including the former 12th president of Lebanon. I made a mistake, I thought he was the 44th president of Lebanon. I misquote sometimes, only because I got so much on my mind and I get my names wrong. I believe I misquoted recently. I used the word the diplomat instead of his assistant, which was Ali Banout. But these things are, you know, I've said them in my podcasts. You will see them, and you will see how I correct myself, and you'll understand them as I go by. We are human. And so the police calls my doctor and urges them to force a meeting today. So my doctor, the admin called my doctor demanding I see them today, 4 o'clock. Not gonna happen. I left my other doctor's practice because what police fail to realise is doctors are not insured to give legal advice. And a doctor is not a detective. A doctor is not an independent journalist. A doctor is not a police officer. And a doctor certainly isn't a barrister or a lawyer, or has the qualifications or job remit to make such decisions from what is known internationally as the most racist institution in England, and that be the police, the Met Police. I'm a 17-day hunger striker. For those of you who don't know, 17 days, no food. For those of you who don't know, 17 days of water and coffee, and that is it. And paracetamol because my tooth were falling out, my wisdom tooth were falling out and have dropped and gone in now. And they wouldn't whilst I was detained in a high category for no reason. Remember, I'm a 27 years professional in the IT sector. My former job was with Hewlett Packard. I'm the key holder to the last 7 employers I've worked for, permanent employers that is.
And then I went, wait, he has to be taught. And he was like, okay.
So you see here the ridiculing of my character continues. Yesterday, the video that I done exposing my MP, my British Jewish MP, who they don't like it when I use that word Jewish. It's as if it's a swear word, allowed to use the word Jewish. Well, I come from the crux of where the occupier and invader is. I come from Lebanon. I'm a British Lebanese Londoner. So when I talk about the country that's, I was going to say neighbouring my country, that's invading and occupying my country, I'm talking about the country that's next to me in the same way as any other person in any other country does. But the difference is, it's Israel. It's Palestine, which I should say. And us who speak with openness, they will attack you from every angle. The YouTube I done yesterday exposing British MP Emily Thornberry was taken off of YouTube. I don't know if it's still there. You tell me. You tell me if you can see it. It reached 61 odd viewers while I was live. Within 2 hours. Yeah? And then when I looked at the statistics, it went like this, up like that, and then it went like that, and then it went straight down. It just stopped there. I think it didn't go down, it just stopped. So when it hit 250 odd, it was taken off air. Allegedly lunchtime today, but I don't know. I think it was taken off air yesterday because from 250, 60 odd viewers yesterday until today, it hasn't changed. And when I click on the stats, it says that it hasn't shown any views. So I've print screened that in case anyone thinks I'm bullshitting, and I've sent that on my Debunking Tips Twitter. And talking of debunking, this is from my Lebanese Tips audience. Tomorrow there's a horse called Temple Gate. Temple Gate. Remember, they want to change Jerusalem. They want to blow up the Al-Aqsa Mosque and stick a temple there. In that same race, there's another one called The Great Promise. And if you see my previous podcast, you'll see I tweeted a book of me doing a live podcast of a bit of a very unprofessional remix of Mr. Yen, who done a remix of Sheikh Imran Saeed of Uncle Sam. So I done a remix of his YouTube, Sheikh Imran Uncle Sam, with that song, but with a different speech that he done last year, telling everybody that Strait of Hormuz is going to be shut down. Now I don't know if the police doesn't like it with me telling everybody to start stocking up, but I'm going to say it again, start stocking up. They're going to shut down Strait of Hormuz. I bear witness to seeing this activity happening decades ago here in England, with 11-mile queues on the motorways, pink petrol being sold on the black market, industrial petrol, agricultural petrol. Petrol is going to go straight up the sky. And if you know about the economy and how oil and gas makes the world go around, when the wheels stop turning, the food stop gets delivering. When the logistics stop, everything stops. So what they're going to do, in my point of view, what I predict is there's going to be a blackout of electricity cut out now, just as there is major attention on Israel now with this genocide.
You should go and do it. Like, I've met so many people tonight, and yours is the story that
And they're going to teach us world, not just here in England. They're going to teach the world how they can, just as well that they can lock you down with pandemics across the world to show that they are in power, that there is one power across the world, the global power, the new world order. Just as they can show you to do that, they're doing this right now, demonstration of dominance and dictatorship with Palestine, and they will be showing it again with the oil Strait of Hormuz, but this time Iran will be shutting down Strait of Hormuz. So on that note, those of you who those of you who don't know the sources that I got off of this information, Strait of Hormuz, well, I've been saying it for several years, and journalists, even Zionist, anti-Zionist journalists have been saying to me, criticising my comments about me calling Iran a coward for not shutting down Strait of Hormuz, instead getting one of the poorest Islamic countries in the world, Yemen, to do the dirty work, while Iran shields itself and crumbles significantly from the how can I say, the very shy geopolitical journalists out there who think that they can diss my criticism just because I don't know, they're probably sponsored by Iran, or they're contractually obligated not to talk down to Iran. Yeah, they don't like it when I give it to them on a plate about the Russian rat, who's currently at the moment reigning and has been for decades. Yeah, you don't have a leadership that's there for decades unless there's two reasons. One, you're an anti-Zionist state, and any change of leadership, or whatever it is you want to call it, is a jeopardy to the anti-Zionist state. So you have people like Bashar al-Assad, who's seen them all come and go. So where the Queen of England used to say, "You are my," when she used to have the visit from the elected prime ministers, she used to say, "You are my such and such number prime minister." So she's like kind of bringing that prime minister down when he visits Buckingham, or she visits Buckingham Palace, to suggest that they're just a number. Well, Bashar al-Assad has seen so many, and I'm sure that at one point or another he's said to all these other leaders that he's visited on presidential visits that they are the number blah blah prime minister, if he needed to use those words, and I'm sure at some point he would have said them in his own eloquent ways. So this podcast is exposing how British police are they attempted to do this last time, where British police are manipulating my doctor to persuade them. Last time they wrote down the email that I sent, and they manipulated it to the doctor. Yeah, let me just get that straight. The police and the police enforcement mental health manipulated that email that I sent, an email to journalists, and twisted it in a more malicious way. Why? Because they wanted to get the doctor to react. Because I'm not currently required by any doctor to take medication, and the doctors are pushing for enforcements. Now, the police are pushing the doctors for enforcements. Now, I recorded it. Last time they done that, I forwarded it to the ambassador, I forwarded it to Jeremy Corbyn, I forwarded it to loads of VIPs. Now they're doing it again. Why? Because recently I've been chasing the police through, currently my sister having restriction on stopping me, and has done for the last 3 years, to see my mum. Now, if the police mess up with me, and they have been on numerous occasions, including slamming the phone down and so on, when I call their 101 non-emergency number, the police are acting outside their job remit. They're abusing their enforcements. They're bullying doctors, the medical profession. Yeah. And I reiterated to the doctor when I spoke to him today, they were trying to subject me to go and see my doctor today. He is not insured as a lawyer is. Yeah. What police say and what is the truth are two different things. And they must be very mindful as well as mindful, as I'm sure they are, in their segmented 10 minutes visiting people like their herds of cattle in a battery factory. But neither way I dither. And talking of dithering, wasn't it odd that the doctor that I had the word M-A-N at the end of his name, which I remind you, in the Second World War, First World War, they used to detain people who had the word M-A-N at the end of their name because they concluded them as Jewish. So there's a little bit of a surprise for you there. Yeah, what's this Russian torture? Russian. This is the further evidence that I submit to the public, and I wasn't going to say it, but I am going to because I didn't want them to start going into about paranoia and all this. But what I'm doing is exactly what my lawyer told me to, and I told the doctor I'm informing the public of my findings. Yeah, look up the stats on my debunking tips one word on Twitter. Look them up. Yeah, look them up. You'll see them. It's bollocks what I'm going through. I'm on my own. I'm literally on my own. Literally. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Allah ma'akum ya Lebanon, ya Syria, ya Palestine, ya Yemen, ya Iraq, ya Iran. No, hold on. Take that back from Iran. Get your fucking act together. Yeah? Don't get people like me to come out and tell you how it is, yeah? Your country's infested and you know it.